the best of 19 frames, the first to 10 to play Ali Carter for the title, and the first of 9 frames coming up in this afternoon session. Zhao to get us underway. And it's a warm welcome to the commentary box once again to the very first winner of this terrific tournament back in the days when it was a ranking event, Dominic Dale. Hi, Dom.
Good morning, Philip. Very good morning, everybody. Very intriguing second semi-final we have here. Difficult to call a winner. Phil has already mentioned that they have played once before. Xintong just getting the better of Kyren Wilson at the 2020 German Masters, a title he would later lift 2 years later. Both these players, very attacking players, like to get on with it.
Very nearly fluked the red, but an easy starter for Wilson, who of course won this title a decade ago. A life-changing moment in his career. At that stage, he wasn't really going anywhere. Down in the 50s and 60s in the rankings. And very nearly missed the tournament to celebrate his father's birthday out in Spain, but opted to play instead, and the rest is history. Now a 10 times ranking titleist, 4 of those coming last season as world champion, when it felt like he took his game to a whole new level.
Yeah, absolutely. Kyren currently ranked number 2 in the world, behind Judd Trump, the world number 1, but Kyren beat Judd last season 3 times, no less. Early signs, perhaps. Having watched that screwback shot that Kyren just played, that the cloth is playing a little on the heavy side. Kyren finishing much closer to the corner pocket than he expected to, but didn't cause him a problem. That was a good ready knocked in. Run of the ball can make such a difference. On another day, Zhao misses the red and it goes safe as it was. It finished near the centre pocket, and it could prove very costly.
12.
Maybe not straight enough on the red to hold for the black. He may just stun through the gap of 2 reds for the blue. Oh, he did decide to play for the black.
20.
He expected to cannon that red that he's just pushed past, so he's a little further away from the black than he intended to be. And even that, you see, can cause a problem. That's why I was a little surprised he did choose to hold for the black. Like our referee Peggy Lee just admonishing some of the spectators, possibly for using the flash with the phones, who knows. Having played in China so many times, spectators love to take pictures.
1. Eight. 9.
Well, applause, but positionally that may have gone awry.
16.
Zhao Xintong Played 172 frames to win the World Championship, all the way from qualifying, of course. Kyren Wilson hoping the missed black off its spot isn't going to prove too expensive. Oh, but he left the plant.
17.
Well, it was massively offset. It really did have to be made. That's why Zhao Xintong chose to play a good cue ball there and not leave the cue ball short of the baulk line for a choice of colour. So the break ends, but he's able to play a decent safety shot.
17.
It's not a great safety, but it's okay. Zhao will be looking to block off this right-hand half of the table with this safety. This is looking very good if it can just go in behind the brown. Not quite. Kyren can see this rightmost red. He'd have been in trouble had he not been able to.
We've had a tournament record-busting 49 centuries this week. The previous best for the entire tournament, 37. 9 of which have been made by these two players. 5 for Wilson. That's a very good safety from Zhao Xintong. Kyren being forced to consider taking the difficult straightest red on into the right corner, but he's decided against it. This one's a little pacey. Such an attacking player, Zhao Xintong. From where the cue ball is, he may well consider taking this red on. Personally, I wouldn't, but he's a very gifted player, Zhao Xintong. The game comes easy to him. Has a lovely disposition as well. He's a very likeable young man. 28 years old now, although looks a bit younger. Playing in the semi-finals of this tournament for the first time. He made his debut 13 years ago when he was just 15 years of age as a wild card.
Well, that's a big mistake. It's very awkward queuing from the jaws of a pocket. It caused a problem there for Kyren, but I think he may well have got away with this. The red closest to the cue ball won't pass Another red into the left corner. Again, you see, it's things like that that make a big difference. Could have easily cost him the frame had he have left a red on there. Caught both reds, as you can see there, and that's why the cue ball rattled in the jaws of the corner pocket the way it did. Zhao Xintong can play off the right-hand red, try and get the cue ball close to going in behind the green. I like this shot that he's playing, actually. He's playing off the red, I think, close to the yellow. It was actually potable, but playing that red, there was less chance of him accidentally knocking a ball towards that left corner and leaving it on for Kyren. Another great safety shot. He's capable of all sorts of facets of play, Zhao Xintong, at such a young age.
His World Championship adventure lasted very nearly a full calendar month. It began on April the 7th, finished on May the 5th.
That's another great safety shot. Superb length of the cue ball, and when you can play safety as good as that, you can easily force a mistake from your opponent. Kyren really is under pressure here to keep these reds safe. Wow, this could be a free ball.
And a miss.
And it is.
Zhao Xintong, 4. Free ball.
Now then, Zhao, what will he choose to do here? He certainly won't have the cue ball replaced. He's asked Kyren to play again from the snooker. Shouldn't be difficult, though, to get this safe. Played it well, but there is a potable red on to the centre pocket.
Five. Six.
Kyren's safety error, which forced him to be put back in and to escape from the snooker, because the cue ball finish behind the brown could cost him the frame from here. Black is available, even more so once this red's removed from the vicinity of the black.
12.
Already 13 points to the good. He seems to have settled down
13.
immediately, Zhao Xintong. Just flicked the yellow there, which prohibited the cue ball running past the black for a simple red to the left corner. This is tricky now. Oh, but
20.
beautifully played.
It certainly looked tricky, but Zhao has a habit of making difficult shots look routine. Got in with great red into that right centre pocket. That one was even better.
$26.
27 the lead, 59 still on the table.
$27.
Well, at first I wasn't sure he was on that red, but beautiful cannon from cue ball to green. He's got an ideal angle on it. But he's got a very tricky cannon to play here. He'll be playing the cue ball off the side cushion. He'll be trying to take it between the pink and the black to cannon the two reds together to bring them into play. Just a fraction out. Good effort though.
30.
And he's in control of this frame now with the 31 points lead that he's amassed. Just needs to keep things tight, not develop the reds, and can easily play a good cue ball here. Surely wouldn't take this red on. Well, he did. Didn't need to. He's lucky that the red has come away from the pocket a little bit.
30.
Kyren's been a little fortunate there. Missed that red by a long way. Could have wobbled in the jaws, gone along the cushion, developed the two reds together, and left a lot on for Zhao Xintong. Zhao really doesn't want to have to play a safety off the two reds and bring them into play, but he may be forced to. It's exactly what Kyren wants to see. And he's missed them altogether.
Foul. Enemies.
And is this a free ball?
Kyren Wilson 4.
It's going back. Wang Wei is the marker for this second semi-final. Humidity is always an issue in Asia, of course, and you'll see the players often using their towel to wipe the cue down, try and keep the shaft of the cue as smooth as they can. Now we have this handy technology here in China whereby as soon as the ball is exactly where it should be, you see it just flash. So Zhao looking for the thin edge of the red, just missed it the first time round. Made the necessary adjustment, played it well. So 27 the lead, 51 now remaining.
That brown's a lovely target to try and get the cue ball in behind. If Kyren can see the right-hand side of the red just above the black, he could come round off two cushions and get in behind the brown. Obviously can't see enough of that red. But he certainly didn't want to play off that one. It was a difficult safety, but certainly Zhao Xintong can try and get the cubal in behind the brown here. Zhao Xintong wants to play off the middle red of those three to try again to get the cubal in behind the brown. He could do so off the red just above the black, but there's a danger he could knock a red towards this right-hand corner pocket. So played an entirely different shot to avoid that happening. And it's not the best one, the cubal cannoning the green. It could be that Kyren attempts this red now, because when you're 27 points behind, you know it's a chance to get back in the frame and win it, because, well, there isn't a ball safe, is there?
Quite a long way off with that pot.
Well, Kyren Wilson uses a titanium ferrule, and so does Mark Selby, who was messaging me yesterday saying there was all sorts of problems. The ball was throwing thick. Oh, that's a good pot.
One.
Wasn't sure he could get through to the potting angle, but he could just about. And that should be the frame winner. But yeah, Mark Selby was telling me that a lot of the times the ball was throwing on the thick side. And he was inclined to go back to using a brass ferrule, but I wouldn't be quite so hasty if I were Mark Selby, because conditions here are very different to how you normally expect them to be.
That first semi-final turned on one shot, really. Selby had a mid-range blue, which, had he potted it, he would surely have gone on to win the frame for a 9-6 lead. He missed it and didn't pot another ball or score another point in the match. Ali Carter winning 4 frames in a row from 8-6 down, just as he did against Mark Williams and Zhao Guodong. He's got the day off, of course. But Kyren Wilson's miss long red looks as though it's cost him this frame. The black will be sufficient for Zhao. Wilson was in first, of course. He missed a black off its spot to the right corner.
Well, I don't know if he's on this red, but he
13.
could certainly stun the cubal in behind the yellow and play the red towards this left-hand corner and snooker Kyren. Because only a couple of snookers are required.
Zhao Xintong, 13.
Clearly can't pot the red, but he can actually use the pink to snooker Kyren here, or he could play the cube in behind the black. Oh, he's misjudged that by quite a long way. He did try to line cue ball pink and red up along the side cushion there, but hasn't managed it. So 2 snookers required from Kyren to get back into this frame, and it's a possibility.
But with the red disappearing, that is the end of this frame. I would imagine there'll be plenty of breaks between this pair. This has been a more awkward sort of frame, but every bit as important, and Zhao has come out on top of it. Kyren Wilson missing the long red, leaving Zhao the chance, which he took.
Xintong 6, conceded.
Kyren Wilson concedes the frame. So first blood to the reigning world champion here in Shanghai. In our second semi-final, 10 is the target for a place in the title match. Zhao leads 1-0. The second Shanghai Masters snooker semi-final is underway, and Zhao Xintong, the reigning world champion, the home favourite, has the first frame on the board. Kyren Wilson breaking off in frame 2. 9 frames in this first session, a possible 10 this evening, 10 the target, to play Ali Carter for the title on Sunday.
Zhao Xintong just had a look to see if the red closer to the black would pot into the right corner. The fact that it didn't pot meant that he could take that on with a little more confidence, knowing that he wouldn't give an easy opportunity to his opponent. And what a pot that was. Beautifully cued, and already I'm sure alarm bells are ringing for Kyren Wilson, because Zhao Xintong looks to be in superb stroke, but somehow he's missed the black. Now what happened here, I wonder? Did he feel that the black just turned up a fraction? When he struck it, I'm pretty certain he felt that he played it okay and that it would go in. I wonder what happened there.
One.
Oh, this is an unexpected opportunity for Kyren. Needs one good positional shot here, and then it's a great chance. If you can just get position on his next red. It's not a straightforward positional shot, this.
Eight.
Thought the red was in.
Kyren Wilson 8.
I mentioned the previous positional shot wasn't easy to play, but I thought again he played that really well, but stayed out. Just wonder if that red Just moved fractionally off its true course there.
1. Six. 7.
So Kyren Wilson's misread, proving not to be
7.
expensive.
This red is potable, but the problem is, not sure the cue ball would avoid cannoning other balls on the way back through to bolt, so that's why I turned it down. These cushions are rather speedy, aren't they? That cue ball leaping off the bolt cushion. So Kyren has a chance to pot the red that's just to the right of the green.
Nicely controlled. It really was an outstanding season for Wilson as world champion. We've seen in the past first time Crucible winners struggle in the season that's followed, coming to terms with the enormity of their achievement, the inevitable extra demands on their time in terms of media and everything else that goes with it. But for Wilson, it just inspired him to take his game to new heights. 4 titles. And as Dominic mentioned, 3 of them at the expense of Judd Trump, the world #1 in the final. Speaks for itself.
9.
The one major disappointment, of course, was losing
16.
at the first hurdle in his title defence at the Crucible to Lei Pei Fan.
17.
The latest victim of the curse, but that aside, he was brilliant.
Choices here for Kyren. He can just screw back a few inches for the pink into the left corner. Good screw back for the blue. Zhao Xintong just looking on, waiting for his next opportunity. As I say, has a wonderful temperament, Zhao Xintong.
25.
Oh, Kyren, even better, was straight enough on the red. He could run through for the green, so he's a certainty to bring reds into play here. But will he be on anything? Well, there's your answer. Could scarcely have finished any better for Kyren. Great chance now to level up this match at 1-all.
28. 29. 35. 36. 43. 44.
Just this red required to make the frame safe, barring snookers. So battle well and truly joined here in the second semi-final of the Shanghai Masters.
One of only 15 players in the game's history, Kyren Wilson, to have made in excess of 500 centuries, up to 520 now.
59.
5 of those have come this week. And but for the no-look black that he missed, it would have been 6 in that outstanding match with Zhao away. He trailed
66.
throughout until the very last frame. That came out of the blue, but it doesn't matter. The frame was long since won with only 43 left on the table. So Kyren Wilson, who got in with a nice red to the right corner, has levelled up in style. And so it's 1 frame apiece.
Frame 3, Zhao Xintong to break.
1 frame apiece early in our second Shanghai Masters semi-final. Zhao Xintong with the first frame, Kyren Wilson responding to win the second. In this, just their second meeting. Zhao having won the first at the German Masters, that was 5 years ago. Over the best of 9 frames. This, of course, is the best of 19. Ali Carter awaiting the winner in the final on Sunday. That's over the best of 21 frames, first to 11. First prize, £210,000. Wilson looking to become just the 3rd multiple winner of this tournament after Ronnie O'Sullivan, who has a record 5, and Ding Junhui, who's won it twice, but who was dispatched by this man.
This is the ideal red to play off because you'll be bringing it towards the middle of the table again. Oh, that's 3 times I think now that we've seen players try and play a thin edge off the left-hand side of a ball in a similar position to this, and 3 times they've missed it altogether. So I just wonder whether the table could be rolling off just a few millimetres to cause that to happen.
Similar shot, but if he were to miss a second time, things would change. Made the necessary adjustment.
beautifully played, because by playing that red, you're bringing it towards the other balls, and if you look at the width of the entirety of all of these reds, you've got maybe 2 feet from left to right if you include all the reds, and there's a much better chance then of trying to get a snooker in behind a bulk colour. And Zhao Xintong has pretty much done that there.
Normally so good at long range, but that one's gone astray, and worse for Kyren Wilson. He's left a very good chance for Zhao.
One.
Missing a very makeable red by so far will certainly perturb Kyren Wilson, particularly so if Zhao Xintong were to capitalise on that mistake. Has an angle on the red to the centre to stun down for the black, but I don't think he'd want to pot the black because its spot's occupied. But he could certainly still hold for the pink.
8.
Played for the pink into the centre pocket, but a leaping bounce off the top cushion. Looks to have done for him there.
Yellow ball.
That's how dangerous Zhao can be. It looked like the break might be over. Only to slot in the long range yellow as though it was right over the pocket.
Well, normally when a player takes a pot on like that, it's out of frustration for not being able to continue the break, and normally the players do miss those, but not on that occasion, and he's controlled the cue ball very well. But had to power that in to get on the pink. He's okay, but that will depend on if there's a red available into the left corner. If there isn't, he'll have a little more work to do with the cue ball. Played for the red next to the blue, and that's absolutely ideal because at the moment, of course, the blue isn't available anywhere really. But it will be back in play if this red goes in. And now the red that Zhao Xintong would love to get onto is the one that's closest to the black spot, because then he could bring the black into play.
Kyren Wilson took on the long red, missed it by quite a margin.
Twenty-four.
Well, I thought he was very straight on the black, but he had a bit of an angle to work with. He tried to just cannon that red quarter ball to leave it potable for the same pocket, but he's caught too much of the red and he's on nothing now. That's the problem though, when the cushions are playing a little quickly and conditions are a little on the heavy side, it's very difficult to be precise with the positional play.
Zhao Xintong, 31.
Well, that little nudge means that I think the red will be cut.
4.
Finish, but he can certainly knock it in here, Wilson.
Five.
Couldn't have controlled that positional shot any better. So a chance to get right back in the frame at the very least. Made a break of 66 in the second. Missed the long red at the beginning of this one. But the cross double has got him back in. Wilson was very much looking forward to this occasion. Big crowd. Playing the man who's relieved him of his world title.
He'll be disappointed to have finished the wrong side of the blue, but he can still play off the Balkan side cushions for red just above the black. Oh, he's come down the other side of the table. I'm a little surprised. Needs his cue ball to slow down.
22.
Has it travelled too far? No, he's okay.
Twenty-three. Thirty. 31. 37.
Signs that the 2024 world champion is hitting his stride now. Break of 66 in the previous frame. And a great chance to
38.
edge in front at this visit.
They're both very, very attacking players, but Kyren has a little more of a balance to his game. Zhao is a little more attacking, perhaps, and less likely to become involved in tactical exchanges, but that could be a benefit in this match to Kyren, but only if Zhao Xintong were to struggle and make a few mistakes.
Two. $53.
So the black and the red for 2-1.
$60.
Zhao was in, but lost position. Wilson got in via the cross double on the red. And he struck the ball very sweetly in this break. Playing with his now usual aggression. Made a conscious decision to speed up a little in his season as world champion. Just exuding the confidence that can only come with winning the biggest title in the sport.
71. $75.
I think that's the end of that. Wilson asking for the pink to be cleaned. There wasn't enough there for a century. He'd snookered himself on the blue, but that's a really nice break from Wilson to move 2-1 in front.
Kyren Wilson to break.
So one more to come before our first interval. A total of 9 in this session. And 10 required for a place in the final. Ali Carter awaiting the winner.
Not the best safety from Zhao, catching it a little on the thick side. Kyren would be disappointed to miss this red. The type of ball you practice a lot of, these straightish long ones. And no problem at all. But no easy next red to play for here. Does he have enough angle on the blue to go into the reds?
$6. Kyren Wilson 6.
Using pace to try and get position, but not quite accurate enough. So that's a let-off for Zhao. Hasn't quite settled in this semi-final yet. His highest break just 30. And the loose safety at the start of this frame, but it's not proved to be significant.
One.
Again, another problem for Zhao Xintong. These reds are detached from one another, but it doesn't seem that any of them are available. So he's going to have to play a cannon into them somehow. Being left-handed, brown is definitely an option. Come off 2 cushions and into the main body of the pack of reds. Choosing the yellow, I'm surprised. Difficult to generate any pace from the yellow. And he's on nothing.
3.
Very thin cut possible into the centre pocket, but won't be easy to hold for a colour. Did very well, but he's not nicely on the black really. It's certainly possible, but it's a little thin. Again, his problem will be holding for a red. Is there something that will pot?
Eleven. $12.
Another very fast bounce off the top cushion has just put
19.
Zhao Xintong a fraction out of position here.
20.
But now a good angle on the black to go into them. They're not the best pack of reds to go into from the black. Because what often happens is the cube will end up behind all the reds. But he's somehow managed to use the side cushion. But is he on anything?
27.
Aside from overcoming Kyren Wilson today, Zhao Xintong also has to bury the Ding Junhui curse. You have to go back to the Welsh Open in 2024, nearly 14 months ago, for the last time that a player beat Ding and then won their next match. Very acute angle.
But again, another fast bounce off the baulk cushion. He's having to play this with the rest, and it's missable.
34.
Just managed to pot it though, and back in perfect position again. Having to work very hard here. Zhao Xintong's a big frame for him. 2 all at the mid-session interval would be a fairly fair reflection on what we've seen. But Kyren does look to be just ever so slightly the more solid player of the 2 at the moment.
39.
A very nicely controlled cannon though, and that should be
40.
the beginning of a frame clinching visit for Zhao Xintong to share the spoils before the interval.
$47. 48.
Made 162 centuries in his career, Zhao Xintong.
55.
22 centuries last season. It's quite
56.
remarkable, really, because he was only playing in a couple of events. Made 4 centuries already this season.
$63.
One more red and a colour should suffice here for Zhao.
64. $70. $71.
The red next to the pink would be an ideal one to remove. That would bring the pink black into play.
$76. 77. $84. 85. $91. 92.
So this yellow for the 50th century break of the tournament.
100.
And the 5th for Zhao Xintong. Effortless,
104.
smooth as silk. Plays with a wonderful rhythm and tempo. And looks super relaxed, doesn't he?
107.
He's got a target on his back now, of course, as the first Chinese world champion. But on the evidence of his
113.
performances so far in Shanghai, he's going to wear the crown very lightly, just as Kyren Wilson did. And we're in for a terrific semi-final here in Shanghai. The honours are even after the first 4 frames, a century from Zhao, following breaks of 66 and 75 from Kyren Wilson. So we're level at 2 frames all. And fresh from his century in the 4th frame to tie it up at 2-all. Zhao Xintong breaking off. 5 more frames to come in this session, a possible 10 this evening. 10 being the magic number to play Ali Carter in the final. Just the one previous meeting between them, that was the German Masters 5 years ago. Zhao won on that occasion in a decider. Could we possibly need all 19 today?
Seen so many safety shots from players in this event catching the bolt colours, and that can cause a problem because Xintong will be tempting this red to the left corner and stun across to the black in the same pocket. Oh, beautifully played. And it's very tricky sometimes to come straight back out after an interval and pick up where you left off, because you have to re-establish that focus, that concentration, which is lost, of course, whenever there's an interval.
Well, it looks as though he's obscured the pocket for the black by the red, which is unlucky. Red's split beautifully across the table.
Brown ball. Zhao Xintong, 9.
He was very unlucky that he couldn't pop the black, but he's played a good safety there. Kyren's got to be a little careful not to catch this too thin and catch the jaws of the corner pocket. Needed a better cue ball than this, but if it finishes in front of the brown, and it has, he's been very lucky. Because, well, there were an abundance of possible reds had that not finished where it has. Talking about the cue ball, of course. Be risky now to try and get the cue ball back to bolt, cueing over the brown like this, so he's just going to rest upon a red near this top cushion. That won't reach.
Foul. Enemies. Kyren Wilson, 4.
Tremendous pop from Zhao Xintong there. There were so many players that would have been playing a safety shot there and trying to get the cue ball in behind the pink. But it is the first part of your game that can begin to suffer when the pressure hits you, as it did Mark Selby yesterday.
Three. Four. Eleven. 12. 19. 20. 27. 28. 35. 36.
'He was a little unlucky initially, Zhao, that he wasn't able to pot the black after splitting the reds because the red got in the way, but got back in with another wonderful bit of cueing from distance.
43.
And now looking to edge in front for the first time since frame one.
44.
Just miscontrolled the cue ball a fraction there, so he has a choice now. He can play a delicate cannon into the four reds, or just unpass them as he's chosen to do and leave himself a little further away for his next red.
51.
So just looking for red, colour red, to take the lead once more.
59.
Once again suffering. A speedy bounce off the top cushion has put him out of position now. This red would cut in, and it's all he needs to win the frame, but is it worth the risk? Because though those four reds in a diamond shape there are well and truly tied up, they're easily developed, and the colours are in good positions, so needs to be careful. And cleverly attempting to put the black safe there and try and get the snooker behind the blue. May have been better to get a good cue ball into bulk and pressurise the safety of Kyren.
.64 the deficit for Kyren Wilson, 67 remaining. Zhao just looking for one red to kill the frame off. He certainly won't take a backward step with this one. But he needs to get it. No problem. So dangerous from long range.
I thought initially, if he didn't cannon that red along the top cushion, he could have potentially gone in off in the middle pocket. Well, he's missed the blue.
Zhao Xintong, 1.
So I saw Kyren will come back to the table. He's 65 behind with just 59 remaining, so 2 snookers required.
One.
But even the fact that that blue has found its way towards the side cushion could be a big help to Zhao Xintong potentially later in this frame, because I'm sure Kyren will get close to getting the snookers that he needs.
8.
Well, that's definitely the end of the frame. So, Zhao Xintong with back-to-back frames either side of the mid-session interval, including the century, a couple of outstanding long pots in frame 5. And it's his turn to take the lead. 3-2 with 4 more frames to come in this session. The 2024 world champion Kyren Wilson breaking off in frame 6, 3-2 behind, having led 2-1.
好，您的手机有闪光灯，请把手机收起来。
Another attacking. Attempted pot as a red there from Zhao Xintong. He hasn't left anything on, but Kyren could play a good safety here and split a few reds up. Get a good cue ball, put some pressure on Zhao Xintong. If this cue ball keeps running... Oh, it hasn't. He'd be disappointed with that, Kyren, to have not got the cue ball behind the yellow on the bulk cushion. Both players have caught their safeties on the thin side there, but fortunately for Kyren, catching the bump of the middle pocket has helped him.
missed a couple from distance today, Wilson, but that one was cleanly struck.
This is a very tough black that Kyren's attempting. He's even digging down into the cue ball here. Goodness me, this is tough. Oh, what a shot. That was a wonderful pot on the black to play it that way. He was hoping to be on a simple red to one of the corner pockets, but he does still have one to the left centre. And can just stun past the three reds to the right of the pink spot to play the pink in the same pocket.
Nine.
Two excellent pots from Wilson to get himself in. Won very nearly £1 million on the table last season, Wilson. "62 centuries."
15. Sixteen.
These reds, although well spread, they're not easy to get onto. He needs to be rather precise. The position of the cue ball. I must assume that the red closest to the pink is on here.
21.
Amazing. Doesn't look as though there's a path through there, but there it is. You can see it goes. And that makes a huge difference because now he's brought the pink into play. And things are beginning to open up nicely now for Kyren.
$28. 29.
Well, he's chosen to play for this red into the left corner. He's just got to be careful here that he doesn't cover the black if he plays for the black. Yeah, it's gone wrong. I could never understand why he chose to play for that red. He could never leave himself the right angle on it, and now he's really going to have to fight to keep this break going.
Very well retrieved for Wilson. That was extremely missable. And the pressure of knowing if he had missed it, he was leaving Zhao a chance for a counter.
$43.
Well, playing the red a few shots ago, he's tied the black up now, which will probably remain tied up. But he can play for the red that's occupying the black spot here. That will pop into this right corner. Maybe there's another red that will pot into the
49.
right-hand corner as well. In fact, there is. It's the top red of those three.
$50. 56.
The fifth half century of the match. Third for Wilson.
$57.
And having lost prime position, he's done very well to keep this break going. Now close to clinching it.
This really has been an excellent break. Just that one passage of play in the middle of it resulted in him having to pot a very tricky pink to the right-hand centre pocket at dead weight.
That looked like another lively bounce off the cushion. But this is frame ball. He's had to work hard in this break and putting everything into frame ball pink. No longer in ideal position, but barring a snooker, a little shake of the head, he should have done enough to tie up the match at 3-all. But it is just the one snooker.
Kyren Wilson, 70.
I'm sure Kyren will expect to knock this red in, and then that will put the tin lid on this frame.
One. Six. 7. $13. 14. 20. 21.
'Just trying to think of how many players would not want to bother trying to clear up and spend further mental energy here. A lot of players, now that this frame is well and truly over,
29.
would be just happy to just play a safety shot and get on with the next frame. Amazed that Kyren wants to clear the table here.
$38.
The initial break of 70, which won the frame,
41.
was very well engineered by Wilson because it could have gone wrong a couple of times. The first semi-final proved to be a very tight affair, and this one is no different.
50. $56.
Looking good. Not quite. 70 and 56 from the former world champion Kyren Wilson to emphatically tie up the score here in Shanghai at 3 frames all. So 3 all. Who's going to edge back in front in frame 7? There's 3 more to come in this first session. Both looking dangerous when in amongst them as usual. Zhao with breaks of 113 and 59. That 113 break, the 50th of the tournament. And Kyren Wilson weighing in with 66, 75, 70 and 56 to tie it up. And he's found a plant at the start of the 7th frame.
1.
Had he have played that brown with more pace to run past the blue, this red to the left corner would be potentially rather thin. Prefer to leave it straight, but from further distance. And again, nicely cued, and the red at the back of the pack will pot into the same pocket as the black. He's left himself a perfect angle here to screw back for it. And this is what players do these days so often. They leave themselves low on a ball such as this, so that in potting it you can bring other reds into play. Problem is, you can never guarantee getting on your colour quite as well as you could if you'd have left yourself straight on the red. And now look where he's left himself absolutely tight against the side cushion. The black's very straight, you can only roll it in. So even if he does pot this tough black, the next red will be equally tough.
$21. Kyren Wilson, 21.
It's very difficult to keep pulling out good pots all the time. One good pot here from Zhao Xintong. He'll be right in himself, but this isn't easy. Oh, beautifully played, just effortlessly, just stroked in. And with that red that's next to the cue ball, it affords Zhao Xintong the opportunity to go into the pack of reds here, knowing he should be automatically on that red. And he is, and how quickly a frame can change.
8. 9. 16.
Not in A1 position.
Zhao Xintong, 16.
He'll be bitterly disappointed at losing position so quickly there from such a promising opening.
That's a great pot from Wilson. Sign of his increasing confidence, fresh from 70 in a 56 break to dominate the previous frame. Stroked that in beautifully.
Do just feel with Kyren, he's just fractionally the more solid of the two players, and it could end up being the determining factor as to who reaches tomorrow's final. Such a reliable player, Kyren, until he... How many times have I given him the commentator's curse? That's incredible. Such a rudimentary pot. Just probably had too much eye on the cannon from cue ball to pink for position on the blue there.
1.
Incredible. We commentators seem to curse players, don't we, from time to time.
Now, can Zhao Xintong make the most of an unexpected reprieve? Wilson having got in with that beautiful long red, only to miss a short range one. This will sting if
9.
Zhao can convert this chance into a frame-winning one.
$16. 17.
Could play a cannon here into the reds, topspin and a trace of side spin. That's the red he wanted to cannon, but he needed to cannon it just a little fuller than he did. He's still okay. Still has a choice potentially of 3 potable reds. But the one to the left centre is the best from a positional point of view, perhaps. That, though, was the easier pot, but using the other red has helped him gain excellent position again on the black. 15 points the advantage. So still needs 3 of these remaining 5 reds.
32. 33. 40. 41.
A very open, attacking brand of snooker, as we expected it would be between this pair. But a glaring error from Kyren Wilson when he was looking good to win his second straight frame.
48.
Looks likely to be decisive in this one.
49.
The blue will suffice. He'd need a snooker. Quick look at the scoreboard to confirm. The applause will also tell him.
54. 55. $62. 63. 68. 70.
Not quite enough for a 6th century of the tournament, but
73.
a very important frame for Zhao to punish Kyren Wilson's miss on the short-range red to the left centre.
77.
And it means the worst he can be is just one behind at the end of this first session, but will now be entertaining thoughts of
82.
a lead and possibly a 3-frame one. And he's flying along. Makes the game look ludicrously easy when he's in full flow, as he was there. That's a punishing break from Zhao Xintong. Kyren Wilson was looking good, but missed a straightforward red and paid the price as the reigning world champion edges in front. Never more than a frame between them. Zhao leading 4-3. Was going nicely, got in with a great long red, only to miss a much easier one to the left centre, and a sparkling break, a clearance from Zhao Xintong to punish that mistake. And so 4-3 down, 2 to play in this session. And Wilson will certainly feel he needs one of them. 6-3 would be a significant advantage for the world champion. But he is deadly from that kind of range, and well and truly has his eye in now after the break to make full capital of Wilson's error in the previous frame. Hardly ideal on the black though.
If he could have managed to just tiptoe that black in, he may have left himself a chance at a red to the green pocket, but that would have been a risk. To play the black quite so slowly. Oh, has he been unlucky there? He's played a safety shot, but has he made a plant of the 2 reds nearest the black? Kyren's looking at them. I wonder. Well, if that's the case, he's been extremely unfortunate. No, they weren't a plant, but Kyren certainly attempted them.
And in the end, a very favourable kiss on the blue, because there was plenty of pace on that cue ball. It was coming back up to the sharp end of the table. Zhao's turn for a big mistake. Easy starter for Wilson.
Such a risk playing shots like that at such a slow pace over such a long distance.
1.
Pretty certain that cue ball would have drifted off course. Just a fraction, enough anyway to gift Kyren Wilson such a good chance at the beginning of this 8th frame of 9. Just this frame and one more to be played in this afternoon's session. And that pack opener has worked out beautifully for Kyren. He's got a lovely red available into the left-hand corner.
Nine. Sixteen. Seventeen. Twenty-four. 25. 28. 29. 33. 34. 41. 42.
The pink spot's occupied, but with the blue in bulk, the pink will be placed onto the blue spot, and that won't inconvenience Kyren Wilson at all. Always looked like being
48.
very tight affair, this match.
49.
Needs a good positional shot here.
Wilson missed the short-range red to the left centre in the previous frame, which cost him dear. Superb clearance of 95 from Zhao. But it was Zhao's safety blunder that has allowed Wilson the chance to return the compliment and make the most of his reprieve. Got a bit lucky the shot before, of course, when he caught the blue in attempting the long-range plant, leaving Zhao in an awkward spot. But he's taken these very well. It's been a very entertaining session.
64.
And it's looking as though there'll only be one frame between them at the end of it.
65.
59 left, so this black for 4 each. Both looking full of confidence. Why not?
72.
Zhao Xintong, the brand new world champion, making history in the process. And
73.
Kyren Wilson starting this season off the back of a spectacular season as world champion when he won 4 titles and bagged nearly £1 million in prize money.
$79.
And now looking for his 6th century of the tournament.
80. $87. 88.
What can he do with the awkward red?
$95.
Not close. But it doesn't matter.
That was a
2 big
95.
errors from
Considered.
either player and 2.95 breaks the result, and it all adds up to parity here in the second semi-final of the Shanghai Masters. 1 frame to come, nothing to choose, 4 frames all. A huge cheer for the return to the arena of Zhao Xintong, breaking off in frame 9, the last frame of the first session of this second Shanghai Masters semi-final. They're locked together. They've both been scoring freely, 66, 75, 70, 56 and 95 from Kyren Wilson, 113, 59 and 95 from Zhao. And now just a question of who is going to edge the session, take a slender lead into this evening's conclusion, when there could be 10 frames, 10 being the target, of course, to play Ali Carter for the title on Sunday.
Little over 2¼ hours of total playing time, which averages out about 16 minutes a frame, something like that. So they haven't been hanging around. There's been the odd frame that's taken a little while. The first frame in particular springs to mind, but after that, it's been very free flowing. Good effort from Kyren, but you never know what's going to happen when you miss a pot, and he's been unfortunate there. Maybe a little bit of pressure in evidence here in this final frame of the session. Always nice to go into the second session with a lead, albeit it'll be a narrow one. Well, that will disappoint Zhao Xintong. A big misjudgment of pace there. If he takes this red on, it becomes risky, and there's certainly no guarantee he'll be on the colour. Well, it was a big risk, and he did end up finishing nicely on the black. What damage has he done now? Certainly could have left Kyren with a very straightforward red. He hasn't done. But there are possible reds available.
Yes, Wilson could certainly have had a much more straightforward opening red, hence the shake of the head.
Yes, the problem for Kyren here is he can attempt a red, but he can't really play for a colour in such a way as to leave things safe if the red doesn't go in. So, has to put all of his eggs in one basket here if he does take the red on.
Very acute angle. In truth, he didn't get close. But it's amazing how often in this sport you can profit from a mistake of your own making. Zhao Xintong missed, could easily have left Kyren Wilson a frame-winning chance there. In the event, left a very difficult red. And now he gets a further opportunity with the reds already nicely spread.
Eight. Nine.
He's such a lovely player to watch, Zhao Xintong. He seems to do everything in such a perfunctory manner. Seems to simplify the game. Plays well within himself. Very similar, I suppose, to Mark Williams, who also plays in a similar fashion.
16. Seventeen.
Could play a delicate stun up into the pink here. He'd be guaranteed to be on 3 or 4 reds.
24. 25.
The youngest world champion since Shaun Murphy lifted the title in 2005.
32.
First amateur to win the title.
33.
Upwards of 150 million people here in China watched him do it.
40.
And the way he did it was so impressive. Dismantling O'Sullivan in the semis, for the loss of only 7 frames, whitewashing O'Sullivan in the second session. And then beating the great Mark Williams with plenty to spare in the final, despite a late rally from the Welshman.
48. 49. 56. 57.
This black and one more red to edge into the lead going into this evening's conclusion. He enjoyed a little bit of good fortune in not leaving Kyren Wilson a much more straightforward red after the potting error. But he's made the most of his second chance. And Wilson requires a snooker.
$70. $71.
Well, this is the 9th and final frame of this session, and I can only think of a couple of times when they've been involved in a tactical exchange of any length of time. Both players just so attacking.
76.
Yes, the first frame was a little scrappy. Took around 25 minutes to resolve, but since then it's been about the breaks. Both looking very confident, taking no time at all
77.
in putting the frames away, and this frame no exception. Another wonderful spectacle in what has been a terrific week of snooker for this Shanghai Masters crowd.
84.
As you would expect when the cream come together, the world's top 16.
$91. $92. $97. $98.
So the green for his 6th century of the tournament. Easy as you like. What a beautiful break. It could have been Kyren Wilson's had he had a more straightforward red early in this frame, but he missed a tricky one at a very acute angle into the right centre, and Zhao Xintong has stepped in to do the rest.
106.
And what a finale we have in store later. Two players playing at the peak of their powers,
110.
putting on a show.
$115. $121.
A break of 125 from Zhao Xintong to set the seal on a wonderful session of snooker. Never more than a frame between them. But it's Zhao with a century, his 2nd of the semi-final, who will take a slender 5-4 lead into the resumption later.